Nick Gallo, Bally Sports. Shai, you guys have now faced two veteran Eastern Conference teams, the defending champs, and then a team that's a little bit more of your age range. What has this experience been like this first week of regular season basketball for you guys?
Yeah, it's been fun. The season's back. It's the best time of the year. It's what we love to do. Yeah, it's been fun.
Chet, you guys held them to like 43% shooting in the paint tonight. That's obviously a huge team over there, very physical. Can you just tell me about the five-man defense that went into that?
Yeah, it really just came into coming in with a team mindset and knowing that it's not going to be one man's job in any area of the game, and really keying in on the game plan that we had. And I felt like we did a good job of that tonight. Obviously, there's improvements to make. It's early in the season, and we're going to come right back and continue to make those improvements.
Shai, the offense really flowed tonight. Was that a result of getting out off the turnovers and running, or did you like just the way that you guys operated in the half court better?
A little bit of both. It for sure started with us getting more stops tonight than last night. We know that when we get stops and we're able to run, we're pretty good. And then also we fixed a couple of things from last night in terms of our half court offense, and it got better for sure. So I'd say a little bit of both.
Intersect of the athletic, Shai, I'm just curious what the adjustment's been like playing with Chet just these first few games offensively. Like, what does that look like for you out on the court?
Yeah, honestly, it hasn't been much of an adjustment. I think he complements my game pretty well, so he just allows me to be me for the most part. So I don't think it's been much of an adjustment, honestly.
And then did it feel good to be able to get right back out there after yesterday's game and be able to kind of course correct?
Absolutely. Best part about the NBA. You play so many games and you get so many opportunities to make sure things go right.
For both of you, really, Josh had 9 of his shots come in the paint, or 16 of his 18 were in the paint. And when he's getting downhill like that and using his body, how much of that opens up things for both of you? It seems like it opens up more for you to Chet to come out and hit threes, and then for Shai opens up those driving lanes and those mid-range for you a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it really makes the other team, respect that drive. And when they have to send another defender to help on those drives, it really opens things up for other players, not just me and Shai, but Dub and our shooters as well. It really opens up the floor, and we're grateful to have Vanilla Magic out there doing his thing. When that help comes, he sprays it out and finds the open guy. So, we love playing with him.
For Chet, Jokic joked yesterday that you need to get fatter, and today, pretty muscle-bound 5 and Jalen Duren, you kind of put a lid on the rim in your minutes. Just curious of the takes on your frame and how it relates to your defense and how you maybe adjusted in your first week of NBA basketball and that end.
It's hard to get fatter when you're not fat, so I gotta start somewhere, I guess. But obviously, I haven't played in the NBA before, so there's gonna be a lot of learning happening. It's night to night, and different matchups bring different challenges and different adjustments. And I feel like it's not, one person's job to do one thing out there. It's a collective effort from all 5 all night long, and I feel like we were better as a team tonight at that, and it showed in the stats, I guess. We were able to come out with the win too, which is the main goal.
Chet, at your height, a lot of it's made out about your guard skills, but I just want to ask you about being a big and the pride you take in, like going down low and fighting and getting to the post and things like that.
I mean, it just comes down to whatever's needed as at the time for our team. Whether it's shooting the space in the floor, or, crashing the glass, or protecting the paint on defense, whatever, I feel like I'm able to do out there, I try to execute that and help us win.
And then Shai, apart from basketball, fashion's a big thing in your life. A lot of people go in their closet for fits and Halloween. What's the best Halloween costume you ever had?
I don't know. Something when I was a kid, though, like an actual costume. Those are always fun.
Anybody else? Rylan in the back.
Chet, the game took a little bit longer to get started on the jump ball initially. Can you walk us through what was going on there?
We were both trying to jump with our right hand. Or no, I was jumping with my right hand. He was jumping with his left. So we were like elbow to elbow, and there was no space between the ball, I guess. And like, I don't know. It just took a while, I guess. So, yeah, it was a weird jump ball.
Shai, obviously a lot of time spent on you by Asar Thompson. Just curious your thoughts on him as a young defender.
Yeah, he's really athletic, smart, has a lot of tools. He's a good young player.
Anybody else? Thanks, guys.
Nick Gallo, Valley Sports. Josh, you guys have now seen two veteran Eastern Conference teams, the reigning champ, and then a team that's kind of in more of your age range. What has this first kind of 4-game sprint been like for you guys in terms of what you've learned and what you can continue to work on?
Yeah, I mean, exactly that. We've played, a whole different variety of teams, and I think that's good in the early part of the season. You get to see different looks and different lineups, and you come off, back-to-back against the defending champs, and they take care of us at home pretty convincingly. And then, the best thing about the NBA is you don't have to wait a week for the next game. You get to back it up 24 hours later, and I think, our group did a really good job of kind of putting that game behind us and moving forward, and, locking on shoot-around this morning, and came out tonight and executed the right way. So I think, wins and losses obviously important, but I think continuing to progress in the right direction is something we've really emphasized, and I think we've started the season, on that note. Not everything's going to be perfect early on, but I think the effort's been there. Guys are buying into what we're doing, and I think we're heading in the right direction.
That Detroit team is just so big, so physical, but you guys completely held up in that matchup tonight and held them, I think, below 50% shooting in the paint. What was the key to that?
Yeah, they obviously start big with Stewart and Duran, but just trying to help Chet out on the boards, especially. We spoke about how much those guys crash and get on the offensive glass. They love to rebound, so it was going to be a team effort. We couldn't leave it to Chet and the bigs down there. Us guards had to get in there and help them out, and I think for the most part, I thought Shai was great on the boards tonight. Dub, most of our guys, chipped in around there. So we spoke about it pregame how big they are, but I thought overall we did a good job of spacing their bigs, but also when they were trying to bang down low, we got in there. Guys were active with hands. Chet did a great job protecting the rim. So I thought we're really good down, in that area tonight.
Josh, Mark was just saying, your shooting percentage in the first couple of games isn't really going to matter, but what matters is an ability to kind of work your way through it. Adjust and figure some things out. Were you making a point to try to get downhill tonight? Is that something you saw in them that you'd be able to do?
Yeah, it was. I really couldn't get much going in the first 3 quarters, but the great part about a game is it's 4 quarters, and I just tried to make an emphasis in that last. They had some smaller guys on me, so trying to get downhill, attack the paint, make the right read where that was finished, kick it out. But I'm not worried about shots falling or missing right now. And it's 4 games into the season. I think, over time, those kind of things will balance out and even out the way they should. But just making the right read, whether that's me scoring, me passing, someone else doing something. But I think, just putting an emphasis on winning ball games, how you play has to come second to the team. And I think we've got a bunch of guys that are buying into that. And, I think in our first, at least in my experience, it wasn't always that way. For me, personally, there's times where you win and you don't play great, and it's hard to kind of balance. You want to be happy for everybody, but it's also like you want to play well. So, and I think now I've matured in the way that the team always comes first. Good game, bad game, you win, you're happy for everybody. And I've been that way this year, and I think that's something I'm really trying to grasp, and that's something I've really matured into. Even throughout the preseason. To me, it's irrelevant how I play. If we win games, I'm happy, and then that's what matters right now. And I think that's a really important thing for guys, around the group to buy into. And I think that's, goes a long way to having a successful team.
Josh, you mentioned collectively rebounding tonight. Obviously, rebounding every game hasn't been perfect, especially with just Chet down there, and you mentioned Kenrich and Jay Will. I guess what have the conversations been like about that, not just in this game, but moving forward?
Yeah, it's going to be a group effort. I think obviously we're missing a couple. Jay Will and K. Rich are 2, of our guys that bang down low and get on the boards. But just making it a collective effort. We can't leave, Chet, Olivier, Oos when he's at the 5. Those guys, all alone down there with these bigger bodies. And I thought Denver in that first half last night got a bunch of offensive rebounds tonight. I don't know how many they had, but it felt like for the most part we did a good job on that end. We made things tough for their bigs inside. But as I said, it's got to be a group effort, especially with the small lineups that we have out there. With me or Dub at the 4, or whoever it is. It's got to be 5 guys in there helping the bigs out. So I thought we did a good job of that tonight. But it's something we practice and emphasize and work on, and it'll get better. As the year goes on.
All 9 of your shots made that you hit were in the paint. 16 of your 18 were taken in the paint. Mark said that the more post-ups, the post-ups that you've been doing was combination of by design and some of just you noticing that guys are smaller on you. How much work did you put in the offseason to be able to do that?
Yeah, a bit. Me and funnily enough, Chip was actually the one that kind of got me into it. He's big on touch around the rim and things like that, and he was one of the guys that said, you're big for a guard, and if the teams are going to put these smaller guys on you, take advantage of it. And I hadn't done it a lot prior to tonight, but just in that last, I saw they had Sasser on me, then the Ivy, and I was just trying to make an emphasis of getting downhill, putting those guys under pressure, and forcing help, and then that was going to free things up for not only myself but for teammates as well. So I've never really worked on my post game, but just trying to make an emphasis of bullying smaller guys and putting the defense under pressure to either come help or they got to go one-on-one, and it's going to be tough sometimes for these little guys to try stop me getting to the rim.
And Dub led you guys in assists tonight. Any given night seems like it can be between 4 or 5 guys that can lead you guys in assists. The unselfishness is really sticking out. How much of that opens up things for you specifically to not have to be a guy that just worries about getting others involved, but can have nights like this where you can dominate in the paint?
Yeah, it's awesome. Having Dub was great tonight again, and having multiple guys out there that can handle the ball is such a plus for us. And obviously the way we start, specifically, that's 5 guys that can handle it and make plays and share the ball, however we move it. I think the group doesn't care about who ends up with stats and whatnot. As I said earlier, it's winning now, and we've got guys, out of the starting group that come in, Case, Isaiah, Oos, these guys that can all handle the ball. So we've got a unique kind of group of guys, and as you said, it can be anyone on any given night, and that's the luxury of having a deep team, and we're able to dig into that, and I think when we're getting contributions from all across the board, makes our team even better.
Josh, I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about your coat whenever I post it. Can you just tell us where you got it? Is it warm?
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. It's actually Montclair. Got it in the off season. It's getting cold around Oklahoma now, so it's time to start bringing out some warmer clothes. But I am warm, very hot right now actually. But it's been sitting in the closet for a while, so I need to wear it.
Last one, Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic. You've had 4 regular season games with Chet. What's it been like for you specifically, adjusting to playing with him, and then team-wide, what has that adjustment been like for you guys?
It's been, as a group, as a team, it's been really easy. He's a guy that, credit to him, with all the hype and expectations that people had around him coming in, he's completely bought into the team. He hasn't tried to come in and show the world how good he is. I think his talent speaks for itself. It's on display, and he buys into the team every night. And that's what I think makes him such a special player is, he has the ability, I think, it's hard for a lot of 5s to guard him, and he could come down the floor and try and make plays every time, but he gets us into offense. He makes things happen on both ends of the floor. I think defensively, he's just that piece we haven't had the last 2 years, that, elite rim protector, and it gives us, guards and wings more freedom to get up on the ball and put pressure on it, knowing that we've got a guy like Chet behind us. So he's been really easy to fit into the team. For me, playing with a guy like him is, I think, going to only, not just me, but take all our guys to the next level, because he stretches bigs out. He keeps rim protectors away from the paint. He has the ability to, catch lobs, shoot threes. So, it does at both ends, and I think getting him back this year is going to help, take our team to another level.
First.
Coach, you'd mentioned response before the game. What did you see?
I mean, obviously did a really good job of getting to 0-0, and that is a critical skill in the NBA that scales, and it applies to every game. Whether you're coming off of good game, winning streak, bad game, losing streak, you got to wake up 0-0. I thought the guys did a great job of that today with very little nudge from on our part. I thought they got themselves there, which is an important skill, like I said.
Nick Gallo, Valley Sports. Mark, the defense around the rim and in the lane in particular was really good. I think under or around 50% shooting for them all night. What did you see in terms of the tenacity down there from your guys?
I just thought the game plan focus by the players was really, really good. I thought we put Cunningham in a crowd and did a really good job on the glass. Kind of gang rebounded, especially in the first half. Early in the game, set a really good tone there by throwing bodies in the paint, both during the action and when the shot went up. They still got 13 or 14 offensive rebounds, I think, but they missed a good amount of shots, so the proportion wasn't overly damaging or as damaging as they've been.
You've talked about J-Dub's just compete level, and he didn't have an explosive night, but he seemed tenacious out there. What stood out to you about his game?
Yeah, I mean, the guy's just like ridiculously versatile on both ends of the floor. There's no situation you can't put him in. And specifically defensively, I mean, he can guard Stewart. He can switch on to the best player on the other team. We put him on fives to cross match. We put him all over the floor. I mean, his versatility is a joke.
In your perspective of the Athletic, what are your thoughts on specifically how Shai responded from yesterday's game?
Not surprised. I mean, he's as steady as they come. If there's one thing that we learned from him over the last few years, it's his ability to stay consistent through the ups and downs of the season is very impressive, and through the ups and downs of a game. He's just got a very steady temperament. I think it's contagious. It's one of the ways that he subtly leads, and so really no different today. He did a great job.
Mark, Josh had struggled a couple of games just shooting the ball. He was able to really get downhill, get to the rim tonight. What did you see out of him?
Yeah, he stayed on the gas, and like I said the other night, the guys that play a lot of minutes and the guys that play a lot of games, you got to be able to work through the ups and downs of the season, not only for the team but for yourself. No one's going to go through a stretch where they have poor shooting nights. No one's going to avoid that. So it's a skill. It's in the grand scheme of things. His shooting percentage in the first 4 games really doesn't matter, but the skill of being able to work yourself through it does, and that's scalable. And it's an important skill for him and everybody else.
Following up on that, Josh was 9 of 16 in the paint. Every shot he hit was in the paint. When he's getting downhill like that, how much does that open up things for you guys?
Yeah, and vice versa. The movement and the spacing opens that up for him. Those things work together for all of our drivers and all of our spacers. But he did a good job getting in there, and I thought we had good matchup recognition tonight. When there were smaller guys on him, he went down there and used his size on them. So I thought we were good in that all the way through the roster.
And it seems like he's trying to get into that post a little bit more and use some post moves. Is that by design, or is that just him using himself using his length and strength?
I mean, a little bit of both. It's part of our package, and it's because we've got 3 really big guards that are skilled down there with the ball, and if you match, you're gonna have to match a smaller guy to one of them. If you have a small defender. We're still finding the balance of those things, though. I thought we were a little addicted to it against Cleveland, and it didn't yield very good stuff for us. But, tonight they left us alone on an island down there, and I thought we had a good blend of it. We didn't go to it too much or overuse it.
The team grabbed the lead early, and they kind of kept them at bay throughout the rest of the game. What did you think of the team's ability to kind of keep their distance throughout the whole contest?
Yeah, I thought our effort, our focus, our game plan discipline was 48 minutes tonight. We just stacked possessions. I thought that was one of the more impressive things about the game is just how steady we were able to stay throughout the 48 and all the ups and downs of the game. And so impressive job, and really everybody that went in the game contributed and did a good job of that.
Mark, kind of some duality from Chet. Obviously, the late minutes riddled by foul trouble, but Duran obviously had a hard time a lot of the night. Just your thoughts on how he fared under the rim.
Chet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he did a good job. I thought one thing that was good carryover tonight from last night was I thought there were plays last night with Jokic where the ball was in deep, and we just didn't do a good enough job of helping him. We left him on an island, which isn't the right way to play. And so tonight I thought we did a better job both when Duran was down there pivoting around and on the glass. We went down there and helped him a lot more tonight. We threw bodies to the paint And I think that's hard to play against. It forces teams to make multiple efforts against you. It gets them deeper into the shot clock. It's disruptive. And it shows a compete-together mindset that we certainly want to have. So I thought we did a good job helping him tonight.
You've been able to plug Cason Wallace in like lots of different situations, like dunker spot, three-point shooter, playmaker, and defensively he's kind of all over the place. What have you learned about him specifically just through these first few games?
Really what stands out is his intellect. I mean, he's incredibly smart. He's got unbelievable capacity. The other night against Cleveland, we had a game plan thing where we were rotating to certain players and not rotating to others, and I don't think he missed one of those. And then the next game against Denver, he was like switching matchups on the floor for us because he kind of knew the intent of our game plan, and he just kind of sniffed it out and recognized it. He's just a very engaged competitor. And he just plays, like I've said before, he plays the next play. So you could put him in any situation. He's not going to flinch at all. So we're moving him all over the place. We're still learning him. Obviously, he's still learning, but he's made a very positive first impression on us and on the team.